Hi, my name is Barbara Poremba, and I'm the director of It Helps, the international and transcultural health education and learning program for students. The purpose of It Helps is to offer undergraduate students with an international health education learning experience while providing a desperately needed service to the impoverished of the Third World. Our work was focused in El Suburbio, Ecuador, an overcrowded ghetto not unlike the many other ghettos which exist in the underdeveloped world. In order to best meet the needs of the people, we first began by conducting a community health assessment. What you are about to see is a documentary which describes the living conditions in El Suburbio and the problems typical to the people who struggle to survive there. Given this information, the students worked with the people to find realistic solutions to real problems. From right here from this tree line, all the way as far as you can see to the right, all this area is called El Suburbio, which is home to more than 1.5 million people. This whole area was once just swamp, and it has been gradually over a number of years been filled in, and people have migrated here from the rural areas in search of a better future for themselves. It's massive.
3,000 miles over the ocean, 3,000 miles across the sea, across the Andes mountains, landed down in El Suburbio, Guayaquil. 500,000 on swampland they failed to reclaim. Every day I struggle to survive. Just one meal a day on so little pay. Most die before they're 45. Things move kinda slow here, but that's no surprise. It's so hot, so dirty, the stench alone can kill you. It's impossible to describe.
Ecuador is a tiny tropical country straddling the South American equator, dividing the northern and southern hemispheres. Most of the people who live here are native Indian, or mestizo, a mixture of Spanish and Indian. But the official language is Spanish, and the primary religion is Catholic. In spite of a relatively unstable democratic government, the United States and Ecuador maintain close ties based on trade, investment, and finance. Since petroleum constitutes nearly 2/3 of the country's total exports, the Ecuadorian economy has been severely affected by the falling world oil market. In just 2 years, the value of the United States dollar in Ecuador has doubled, dramatizing enormous economic difficulties due to a rapid growth in their world debt. With escalating unemployment and a population growth more than twice that of the United States, Ecuador is one of the poorest countries in the world. Although Guayaquil, the chief seaport and largest city in Ecuador, looks relatively modern and reasonably affluent from a glance, just 3 miles outside the skyline is a massive shantytown known as El Suburbio. One of 3 slum areas of the city of Guayaquil, El Suburbio is a typical ghetto of the underdeveloped world. Built on a mangrove swamp in the 1950s, people have migrated here from the rural areas. They are promised jobs and a better standard of living by politicians seeking votes from this district. But with so many candidates and frequent elections, few promises are kept. A government program to provide milk to infants and public school children was dissolved by the new government. Here, the average family income is less than $20 a month, and few will live beyond the age of 45. Along with two-thirds of our Earth's population, the people of El Suburbio live in a world of poverty and despair, victims of the unequal distribution of the wealth and resources of our planet. Life in Suburbio is an extreme contrast to life as we know it. Public and social services taken for granted in our industrial society are either substandard, outdated, or virtually non-existent.
She got fired?
There is no Medicaid, unemployment compensation, Social Security, or food stamps. If you are unable to work, you are unable to eat. With so much underemployment and unemployment, any work is welcomed. Those who cannot work will have to resort by begging or stealing in order to survive. Those fortunate enough to have jobs in the city may travel in the fleet of dilapidated buses that provide service to and from the main roads in Suburbio. Although the only modern way to travel in and out of Suburbio, many people get around by riding decaying bicycles or donkey carts. But most simply walk. Communication with the rest of the city is limited. It is nearly impossible to find a telephone. And because these squatter homes have no addresses, they have no mail delivery service. But since most people are illiterate, few would be able to read it anyway. Although the public education is free for ages 7 to 14, the quality is so poor that even the impoverished sacrifice food to pay private school tuition. But even these schools are overcrowded and poorly equipped. Textbooks are scarce, and crayons are a luxury. Consequently, few are able to read, and most cannot write much more than their name.
Can you read something for us?
Lea algo para nosotros, por favor.
Dice, y todo lo que hace prosperares no es así los malos, sino como él tomó que repartir. Por tanto no se levantará los malos y los juicios.
She reads well, huh?
She tends to misspell.
How many years of school did she have?
¿Hasta cuándo fuiste al colegio?
Yo terminé la primaria.
Finished primary school.
Primary school, that's how many
6
grades?
years.
6 years.
Limited health care is available at privately funded clinics. Immunization campaigns have been helpful, but many of the children are not protected against the basic childhood diseases, as measles, tetanus, and polio. Most people come here only for sick care. Medication on hand is dispensed for little or no charge, but diagnostic laboratory and radiology facilities are not available. For these services, a trip to a public clinic or hospital is required, and these services are not free. The cost of a routine chest x-ray is about $10, half of a family's monthly income.
Her chest sticks way out here. It's like a barrel. Okay, well, she can't afford to go do this, so she's not going to do this, right?
Although literally surrounded by it, water is a serious health problem in Suburbio. It is not free, nor always available. Water is transported to Suburbio by truck, where it is sold by the bucket or barrel. Few areas have access to water by a primitive network of underground hoses. contaminated with bacteria, parasites, and amoebas. It is this very water supply which is the primary cause of diarrhea, the leading cause of death in the underdeveloped world. Early each morning, produce is hauled to the marketplace by donkey cart. Here the people can buy their day's food. Although food is plentiful in this agricultural country, the quality of the foods available in this overcrowded slum is poor. Most of the produce is so substandard that the merchants were initially hesitant to be filmed because they feared reprisals from the government.
Let's go, he's getting pissed.
Does he sell the broken ones too?
Sí.
Véndelo así, esto también.
Sí.
And they're cheaper, right?
Este es para la gente pobre y allá para la gente rica, porque hay de 3 santones.
This is for the very poor.
No, y estos se venden más barato para que
Forma, ponte en forma nomás. Ahí salimos en forma.
The diet of these poor people consists mainly of rice and bananas, yucca, a root,
Plantains, lemons, peppers.
mussels from the polluted waterways, animal intestines, some chicken, and of course coffee. Very few are able to afford to buy milk, cheese, meat, or fish. When the market closes before midday, the remaining garbage is piled into the streets, where it is feasted on by a variety of animals. The rotting stench fills the air. Since there is no sanitary system, the only way to rid the streets of this debris and decay is by dousing it with kerosene and burning it, a common sight in Suburbio. Disposal of human waste is a serious problem in this overcrowded swampland. There is no sewerage system. Primitive latrines empty directly into the earth or the many tidal waterways surrounding Suburbio. Since the city is below sea level, the problem becomes confounded during the long summer rainy season. Then the water will rise higher than the tall stilts of the bamboo huts.
Usually this whole floor will be underwater up to here. Okay. And 4 years.
As you can see, the floorboards aren't.
I mean,
here.
I've been in houses here like that. Water in a good what they call winter. The water will be up to like here, and living like that is pretty nasty because the wood rottens up, and as you see, it's pretty weak.
There's
I
only
mean,
one
we've been walking around and the thing just trembles. So.
And in order to reach their homes, these people must pass over dangerous walkways over the waters. Children who fall from these walkways drown or die from infections transmitted by the polluted water.
Thousands and thousands, kilometers of this stilt houses that you would never believe. And these people, they lose kids all the time. Kids fall into the water, they drown. The mother is not there, she's working. The father, of course, is not there. And for them, life is very cheap here, unfortunately.
These inadequate structures made out of scrap lumber, corrugated steel, cardboard, or bamboo barely provide shelter from the forceful rains.
You see plastic on the walls trying to protect when the rain comes. I mean, it's not together, so when it rains in Guayaquil, it pours down and water just flies everywhere. So they try to put plastic over there, but they really don't.
Most have no electricity. Those that do have primitive and unsafe wiring. It is not unusual to find illegal exterior electrical connections.
Yeah. This one was tied manually, you can tell. So just imagine you have to get that wire and roll it around. The big one.
Get on that side.
That's how you get.
Electricity without having to pay for it.
I mean, it's better when you just.
Cooking is done on kerosene or charcoal stoves. Placed next to a bamboo wall or on a weak and unsteady floor, they are a frequent cause of house fires.
Works with kerosene, which is put on a burner down here. And there's like no way to control if the kerosene begins to go out. In this one you can. This is like a valve, all right. You get the kerosene or petroleum, you put it in there, and the vapors go out there and all that. It's pretty risky because when that fills in, if you don't take care, it just blows up. But since last year, they've put a plate back there, a metal plate or something, at least to protect the cane of the house.
These huts have no washing or refrigeration facilities. Flies collect on unclean cookware and food. As many as a dozen people may live together in one small shack. Although many people would sleep here, there are few beds. Most women and children would sleep on the floor.
You know, in this type of society, the guy is always right and, women have almost no rights. So I'm pretty sure the person that sleeps on that bed is the guy and the woman is probably, sleeping with the kids on the floor somewhere where they put a blanket. Just can't help it.
Machismo, a Spanish word used to define a male-dominated society, is evident most of all in the way men and women relate. Although some couples marry, most just live together, a legal status in Ecuador. Men may live with more than one woman at a time, simultaneously procreating children in other areas of the slum city. Even though limited methods of birth control are available, accessibility, affordability, lack of knowledge, and religious influence are some likely reasons for their lack of use. Some women terminate unwanted pregnancies with dangerous home remedies or by going to an illegal abortionist. With an average of 8 to 10 children, many mothers must go hungry in order to feed their children. It only leaves you with 550 sucres left a month? That's like $1? $1 a month? What are you able to eat?
The neighbors help her out with whatever food left over they might have.
Have you eaten today?
¿Ya comió ahora? No, not today. She hasn't eaten today.
When was the last time she ate?
¿Cuándo fue la última vez que comió? Yesterday. She ate yesterday.
When she was at work?
¿Cuando estaba trabajando? Yes, when she goes to work in field.
When she doesn't work, is she able to have anything to eat?
¿Y los días que no trabaja?
Un día trabaja y me da la verdecita para que hace.
Yeah, the place she works will give her a plantain.
To take home?
¿Para llevar a la casa?
Sí, para llevar.
Yeah, to take home a plantain.
Have her children eaten today?
¿Los niños han comido ahora?
No.
No, they haven't eaten today.
Are they going to eat anything tonight?
¿Van a comer esta noche?
Si Dios permite.
Y God willing.
Great believers in both superstition and religion, the women pray for better, but accept their lives as fate. Lacking control over their own bodies, they live poor and powerless.